is up, good people? Welcome back. Happy Monday morning to everybody. If anyone is even awake yet, I'm kind of awake. Mocha, coffee and chocolate picks you up right at the end of the day. Loving the love that I'm being given for my continual showing up here, 2 p.m. UTC weekdays. Do join as I put together music templates and I release them via Patreon. Check the link in the channel description if you want to check out what I've been up to so far. This is one of the more popular tracks, that has been downloaded and used, I don't know how many times, but I've released it to all the public domain sites and it gets a lot of usage. It's called Jazzy Detective. I've seen people doing cheesy spoofs on TikTok using it and all sorts of things. I'm sure it's on a million different podcasts that I've never even heard of. So the point of this is for me to put together music for the world, Creative Commons music for the community to download freely and even remix and contribute to on almost like an open source project. So what I'm doing today is something a little bit different. Let me just kill this. Normally, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been making original 80s music, which is pretty cool. I'm releasing a pack at the end of this month and I'm making the whole thing free. It's all of the Ableton Live projects, so actually 10 different Ableton Live projects with 80s synthwave music that can be used in your own productions. So you can use the tracks for your videos or games, or if you're into Ableton, you can download the entire project file and basically do what you like with it. If you want to be notified of that, you can sub on YouTube, but I would recommend you actually just follow as a member on Patreon, even if you're not a paid member. Just go check it out, and that way you'll get an email when I release the pack at the end of the month. I'm getting excited about it. I've had a lot of fun sitting here defending my afternoon hour, drinking mochas and making synthwave. It's the stuff of dreams when you're a middle-aged man. So join me in this adventure of self-discovery and joy as I continually show up and make free music for the world. Okay, kids, what are we doing today? This piece, as you can hear, is kind of like a very film noir parody type thing. And this is kind of like one of the more boring streams. That's why I do it on a Monday this time. What I'm going to be doing is packaging this original piece of music. So not a lot of composition, but I will show you basically how I go about putting these things together. And then you'll have a better idea of what it is that you're downloading or, purchasing when you cross that bridge. So let's start with, first things first, I want to just actually recolor everything, just make it look nice basically. So all the drum stuff, I'm going to make it kind of a red, bass I normally make blue, piano and mid instruments you could call them, I'm going to make them pink today. And these trumpet ones, we're going to need a little bit of yellow in there, so there. Cool, and now assign track color to clips, so everything looks kind of nice. Missing green, but anyway, let's do guitar in green because it's a different sort of class of instrument to the piano and the rock organ. Cool. I've got a channel here called Bus Horns. I'm not sure if it's entirely necessary because I've got 2 horn tracks at the end here. Let's just check where they're going. They are going to bus horns. 5 of them are going to bus horns, so actually maybe we'll keep bus horns where it is. But with bus tracks, I may usually make them kind of a black. Cool, and drums I believe is also a bus. We've got a couple of things going to drums, so let's label that as it should be labeled to prevent any confusion for anyone who wants to do their own production on this. Cool, bus drums, bus horns, cool, give that a save. And next thing I'm going to do is let's just move the loop up to the top. I've called it brush, but it's actually a brush loop. So I'm going to call this the loop. We don't have a kick in this track, so to speak. I'm going to just call it a loop, or a brush loop. Nice and easy to see, nice and clear. Cool. There was a missing instrument. Now these packs that I release, they don't contain any missing VSTs or missing samples. It's really annoying when you download a template and you don't have access to the sounds in the template. So I make sure that every single one of my productions is that I release to the world is contains all the missing samples and missing. I replace VSTs if I'm using Contact, for example. Like I used Contact on this track over here. I've gone and replaced it with a default Ableton instrument, which you can see here. It's called upright bass, And just to supplement it a little bit, I've added an operator which comes up with some of the more like low-end bass sounds. Two of those together, let's give it a listen. So that's not a bad imitation of a double bass. Cool, so on with it. First thing we got to do, or not the first thing, the next thing we got to do is make sure that everything is already contained. So I'm going to do a collect all and save on this project. I'm reading it off an external drive, so it might be a little bit slow at times. If you're new to Ableton or new to the stream and you're interested in what's going on here, drop a line. I love chatting to people while I work. This is like my favorite hour of the day. I absolutely love it. Sometimes I get 10 people on the stream at one time. I'm running out of fingers, man. Also been coughing a lot down here. I'm in my garage. It's like a converted bat cave for dad. It's like a dad room, you know, like a basement dad room. That's what you get. That's what you get for being a dad and turning 40. Okay, you get the garage and the dust. Cool, so I've done a collect all and save. Next thing I'm going to do is manage files, just to make sure that the project isn't bigger than it has to be. There are file size limitations on when you, for example, upload to Patreon, but this one's only got 173 megs, so that should be fine. There are unwanted other files, but I leave these ones in because they are useful for, they're the actual stems which I've imported in the past, so there's no advantage to deleting them. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much the, I mean, the thing sounds cool. Let's give it a listen. Just listen through once. In fact, you know, I'm going to go next level here. I'm actually going to do the video recording. One thing I have to do for each one of these tracks that I release is I release a video recording, just a playthrough. So I'm going to just get out of the way real quick and do the video recording so that I can upload it to the relevant places. Okay, cool. Video recording is always the same. I make it as easy to see everything as possible, and then during the recording you'll see me clicking around. I'm going to go quiet now and you'll see what happens. Cut it there. I realized I jumped the kind of jumped the gun a little bit. There are missing parts in this. So I've got hats over here which are missing, apparently. So let's get some of the Ableton library drum kit sounds in here, which would be able to like play those hat sounds. So I'm going to actually just do kit. Let's choose one over here. Instruments. There is a standard Ableton kit, I know. Not the 90s stuff, not the 808s and the 909s. It's cool. I think it's an acoustic kit, actually. Acoustic drum hits, yeah. There we go, hi-hats. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Alright, now this is one thing that annoys me about Ableton, is that if I were to drag that in there, that would just create a sample. What I'm actually looking for is a drum rack, so I can play those back just independently. So now, okay, cool. That's hi-hat sound was pretty good, but anyway. So I've only got 1 hour to do this. I'm going to be doing it quite fast. Not so sure. Let's just try that. Now we've got to go up an octave. Let's take it up. Now down an octave. not the one I want. And either way, we're going to have to cut off those low ends. Okay. There'll be about 1 million hi-hats to be in here. Okay, we're just looking for. That's kind of what we're looking for. That's it, and then an open version of that. Cool. That's a good start. Now let's get the relevant filters on. I'm gonna just turn on the filter. Where is it? Here it is. And we just want that to be an up filter. Call it a high pass. Same with this guy over here. Filter on, high pass selected, and we should have nice. That's kind of where I'm aiming for. That's right. We've got this filter over here, but I think we just go even higher, huh? All right, get those nice high ends, and then just take this volume down a little bit so that we're not coming through too hot on the. What does the arrangement look like? So we actually need 3. I'm going to try something here. Other way around. That's it. And now I've got 3 different kicks over here, 3 different hi-hat elements. One of them is a hit, one of them is a foot, and the other one is an open hit. So a combination of the 3. That's it. Now we could just take this down in volume to maybe like -6. Take the filter all the way up. There we go. There we go. Not bad. Passable hat sounds there. So we're just going to leave that as it is. Now make sure that we got a ride. Do we have the ride? And let's just take that up a little bit, I think, in volume, so that we are able to hear it. Minus, call it 15, I'd say. Even louder. That's good. Kabasa is an audio file, so that's fine. What other missing stuff do we have? Trumpet. Now, I know that the Ableton's trumpets aren't amazing, but I'm going to just take a chance here and see what we got. Let me not forget to put myself back up here. Cool. Word, if you just joined, welcome. I am packaging Ableton files. This is a jazzy trumpets, sort of film noir spoof type track. So let's see what we get with trumpet. Doesn't look like we have any inbuilt packs. I think maybe this might be an inbuilt pack. That's it. That's the one I want. And horn, I think we can just search horn. There might be an option. We want the type to be a device. So let's look for this. And now the problem is these English horn and these results over here are going to be probably packs, live packs that aren't installed. So I've got to make sure that everything is portable included, so that you don't get that downloaded and then you don't realize suddenly that it's that half the stuff's missing. That sounds very MIDI, but it's fine. Horn 2 hollow brass. What does that sound like? These were originally done with contact instruments. That's not what I'm after. French horn solo. I think there might be some. No, we definitely need a second trumpet here, I would say. So let's just go with solo trumpet. Add it to here, see how that sounds. It's an option. Not the English horn, it's too polite. Or English or French horns both have the kind of very gentle, soft sound, whereas a trumpet comes through more like a jazz vibe. Okay. Let's look for a tuba. That might be an option. Any devices? C tuba. It's an option. Let's try group it and add a couple more. And just pan them out. so it sounds a bit more like an ensemble. And maybe what I could do is also just detune one of them a little bit up so it sounds... Just listening to this section over here, I'm hearing something kind of out one side but not the other, which means one of them's dominating. And we could also put a saturator on there, I think, to get it a little bit more driven. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. That's fine. So this one over here, C tuba solo, is not as... it's because the attack time, that's what. Good, and now I want to just make this a little bit brighter if possible. One of them can be slightly more present than the others. So I'm going to, let's just try this warm-up highs. It's a little bit delay. Cool, let's give that one option over there. And then let's just also search while we're at it for ensemble. Chorus ensemble, this might do something. Yeah, it sounds nice. I think that the whole thing just has to come down in volume, that's all. So let's take a utility and just add that to the end of this chain over here. If you just joined, what I'm doing is packaging a Ableton Live template, which is one of the pieces that I wrote a while ago. It's a very popular piece. Gets used in podcasts and on TikTok and stuff like that. It's called Jazzy Detective, and it's a film noir spoof. And what I'm doing now is putting it all together in a portable format. So in other words, if all you have is Ableton Live 11 and you download this pack, you will get nothing. Nothing will be missing. It'll just be all the good stuff and none of the missing samples and VSTs. Okay, let's leave it at that. That's going to be the extent of the composition stuff for today. Then the piano solo, which is a lot easier to do. One thing I got to just fix up real quick. This guitar sounds like crap. Let's kill all the lows. I mean, it was badly recorded. I remember doing this when I was in Australia, I think. Yeah, I definitely need some treble control. It's nice having a bit of highs, but we don't want to... let's do one of these, yeah. Actually, yeah, let's do multiband. Multiband compressor. Okay. What are we doing? We are putting together an Ableton Live package, template download. That's kind of what I'm going for now, just none of that horrible mid stuff. And it's still got a bit of a vintage vibe, so standard multiband compressor to the rescue yet again. Here we go. Let's also put a chorus on that. These chorus effects on Ableton do a good job. They make it sound like more present. That's a bit out there, but take the rate down. Just a little bit of touch chorus just to make it no, we want it to sound a bit vintage, so nothing too fancy, but it does travel around a little bit, which is nice. There's a piano solo, heavily edited, of course. There's the ride, which is nice. What happened to the crash? I didn't get the crash. Okay, cool. Crash can come up, I think. Let's bring it down there, and utility that guy up in time and space. All right. This is the gig, kids. Putting together stuff for people to download, using their own productions. This is what I do. Let's take it up 3. Cool. That's a very standard Ableton Live crash. It's used everywhere. Car just started. Cool. Cool. And mixing stuff aside, the track is actually just available as a mixed track already in the download. You can check the link. You can just check my channel for the track. It's called Jazzy Detective. You'll be able to download it and use it in your productions for free as it is. What I'm doing today is just putting together the kind of the downloadable Ableton template for anyone who wants to download Ableton templates. This is the place to do it. Cool. And it's a good way to learn, you know. If I'd done more of this kind of thing of like using other people's projects to get a handle and like figure out how Ableton works, I think it would have got there a lot quicker. Anyway, let's kill me. How's that sound? And I'm going to record the video now, and then I'm going to put it up on Patreon, all in this stream. Here we go. Screwed up the stream. That's it. So that's it. I got a take of the video. Now what we do is let's welcome my beautiful face back on stream, and I have the master track, I have the video, I have the Ableton Live template. Let's do one more collect all and save here, because I did do some importing of, I think, using of separate samples. And that is the production aspect of it. Now what we do is we zip that all up into a pack, which you can see it's already here. Let's make sure those, oh wait, I've got to actually reopen that now. Delete everything in session view, and yeah, release this pack as a Patreon download, which is what I'm going to queue up right now. So let's get Patreon open on the left over here, and I will take you through the process of creating a post. as well. It's a video post, and I also need to open up the existing posts so that I can just copy one over as a template. So let's go to, oops, where is it? My page, oops. Yeah, I've made $73 in downloads since like last year sometime, so it's picking up. I mean, I was surprised actually. It took me a while to get my first couple of bucks through Gumroad, but apparently Ableton Live has has done, as Patreon's made it a lot easier. Can't believe I am unable to find the new post. I could just use all this, it's fine. Yeah. Cool, and are we add that stuff there? Yeah, that's right. You'll get self-contained this is been a murder. We need some like advice here on how to do like film noir, like hoodlum accent, I guess. It's called Jazzy Detective. It's not actually a template. I'm gonna stop calling them templates. They're project files. But anyway, cool. Easy to use Ableton Live template. You Murder by the Docks. Nobody's seen nothing. Gotta watch my back. Gotta watch his back. No, I don't know any of that jargon. But sorry, I'm just trying to be like something I clearly have no hope of being. The yes, cool, that's fine. No copyright. Ableton Live project file. That's cool. I think start calling them project files and not templates. Okay, so where were we? We are just gonna wrap this up, make sure that nothing's missing. Yeah, okay, that's fine, nothing's missing. When I open, no problem. I did want to just delete all of the session view data, so that's fine, save that. And this is me whizzing through a job on a Monday. Next thing I'm gonna do is just check the the file size of all of this stuff put together, and it's 213 megs. That's gonna be a problem because I want it to be to fit into my my 200 meg limit. Jazzy Detective project.zip. That should just zip it up real quick. Here's the workflow in case you're interested. So yeah, Mondays I generally don't do most of the composition stuff. Monday's kind of a dry day, so I work on. I spend my 1 hour budget and I produce music. I just kind of make sure that it gets out. That's the trick, I think, is like you got to show up. You got to actually do you got to try as hard as you can to do the thing, to get to show up. Cool. Upload. Let's go over to the. It's actually already underpublished. That's right. Single tracks, and it should be at the end. There it is. Let's see if Patreon accepts it. 167 megs. This one I'm gonna make free. I really am. I am feeling generous. The video itself is gonna be this one over here, I think. I'm gonna take a chance and say it's the last one because that was the most chronologically recent one. And let's stick that over there. So now we open the video. The tag is template, and I'm going to release it to the broadest possible audience, people who want stuff for free. What are you doing today? Have you just stumbled on this channel and out of good fortune seen my beautiful face smiling at you? Or are you a dedicated Ableton head who seeks out awesome stuff? This is where you get free Ableton Live downloads and also get to follow along while a grown-ass man stumbles through his creative 1 hour budget per day. I show up here every day, 2 p.m. UTC, and I've been releasing music online since like 2019, maybe before, and I'm very happy to be contributing to the creative culture of our planet because that is where it's at. Okay, So yeah, if you're new to the channel or you just want to say hi, drop a message in the chat. I love chatting to people while I work. In the meantime, looks like we've actually done well for time. Surprisingly, normally I run out of time and it sucks. But now I actually have some time to do a bit of extra composition, and that's what I'm going to do. We're going to return to the 80s music that I was making last week. I'm on track 7 out of 10, so let's load up, I think it's track 7 now, and we'll make a fork of it and create track 8. And we'll start getting busy on track 8. I've got another 8 days to release the final 3 tracks, so and that's with all the mixing and stuff I've still got to do on it, and the exporting and the packaging and the blah blah blah. So there's a lot of work to be done. That's why I'm going through it at such a fast pace, doing like 5 things at once. So that's loading. I'm going to just play that in the background because I'm starting to get like the fear of silence going in my head. You should be able to hear some 80s music right about now. Yeah, this is this thing I was working on last week. Let's give it a listen. Okay, stop right there. I've got to kill the stream and reboot. It'll be about half a minute and then you'll hear from me again. I've got to just change this the buffer size on my sound card, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. Cool. Catch you in half a second.